Narwhal, swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion, cause he is awesome. Look at him go. Speaking of swimming in the ocean, welcome back everybody to the analysis of the E3 stuff that came out. Get rid of you. Welcome to the analysis of the E3 stuff that came out, where we're still on the EA conference, but we're still on the positive games. A second indie game, this time of Sea of Solitude, made by a Finlandish lady. I'm not too sure. It was kind of hard to understand. I'm very sorry, but you did have a bit of a language barrier. Not holding it against you. There was enough explanation that a lot of people could understand. But when you were trying to say your company name, it was kind of like Violmir or Nivelheim. It was a Swedish word that I couldn't pronounce, so I'm not going to try and pronounce your company name because it was like Nifanswe or something like that. But anyway, Sea of Solitude once again is an indie game made by the lovely Icelandic woman, and it's based on a true story. Basically, the game is set to be about her being on this boat, and apparently she was in a storm or something, and she got trapped on a boat. Like, all of the people on this boat were dead. Like, they fell overboard or they'd left to find help or whatever, and she was left on this boat alone, and she was left on that boat alone for 2 weeks, and she had all these different conflicting emotions, and at one point she thought she was going to die, and obviously when you have emotions like that overrunning you and going crazy, it wasn't a good time for her. It was quite a shit time for her, as one could probably imagine. And in the end, like, she had to overcome those emotions and calm them down and realise that basically no help was coming, and she had to take charge of her own destiny and basically steer the ship to safety herself, because no one else was going to do it and no one else was coming back. And from that experience, she basically made this game where you are alone on a boat, and the whole idea of the game is your emotions, your negative and positive emotions, have become personified as sea creatures and creatures that are threatening this flooded town, and you have to basically quell them in order to beat the game. I think she never really explained what the win condition was, but in order to beat the game. So first of all, the graphics look really amazing. They're kind of like neat stuff. You've got all the stuff you want, Midnight. Just press I for inventory and your entire inventory comes up. But yeah, so she never really said a win condition, but first of all, graphics look absolutely fantastic. They've got this really bright, I wouldn't say cell shaded, they've got this really bright shadow shaded effect. So it's all bright and then they stretch the shadows on certain areas. It kind of looks like The Witness. You know, Jonathan Blow's The Witness. Like, if we put a split screen, you compare this ocean with these buildings to like the buildings in The Witness, where they're kind of just like really bright and got the pulled out shadows. Yeah, so it looks fantastic. That gets a 5 out of 5 in terms of graphics. That just looks absolutely amazing. And the music also really good, because I'm going to just put the trailer on now so that you can see it. So here is the trailer for Sea of Solitude.
Is this real? This world that I live in is empty and cold. The loneliness cuts me and tortures my soul. I'm no child of destiny and no fortune's son. I've just chased you so long now, I'm too weak to run. A new day is here, but nothing is new. Alone in my room, I tremble for you.
yeah, that looks pretty amazing. So the character, I think that's supposed to represent her hollow state, she said. Like, because all of her emotions were overcoming her and running rampant and left her, she was basically just a mere shadow, a shell of what she once was, hence the black and withered state of the player. And as you saw with like the giant fish that was trying to kill her, that was one of the emotions she was feeling at the time when she was basically stranded on this boat in real life, and that's one of the obstacles we will have to overcome. Now, the gameplay, there wasn't any gameplay, so we'll just give that a 0 because it was just a pre-rendered cutscene and her explaining what you'd got to do. But it is quite an interesting concept, and I will like to see exactly how this is turning out. Apparently it's scheduled for early 2019, so we're not going to really see anything until the beginning of next year. We might see some gameplay in September, October, when it's in a more complete state, or there's a demo or something. But for now, there was no gameplay. It was just her explaining and showing off the cutscenes. But from how the gameplay sounds, at least, it sounds like a very interesting idea, and I would like to see how this journey plays out, how you are supposed to overcome your emotions. And then I'd also like to see how you interact with this world as you try and basically emulate what she was feeling at the time of her basically going to die alone at sea on this boat. So it'll be quite interesting to see how they work the gameplay and the story together as one. Explanation, again, 5 out of 5. She was on point with the explanation, telling us, well, not 5 out of 5 because she didn't show gameplay and she wasn't explaining the gameplay, so I'll give it a 3. But in terms of her main explanation, explaining like why she made this game, what inspired her to make this game, how the game is going to play, why you will feel the way you'll feel, she was on point with her explanations, even if it was slightly hard to understand her sometimes. So yeah, I'm interested. You got me hooked there, lady. I'm quite interested to see what exactly this is all going to turn out to be, and if you can really like get across those emotions you were feeling in that shit situation, then it'll be quite an experience to say the least. So, final verdict for Sea of Solitude is so far looking like a 3 out of 5. So far, visually and orchestrally, it is looking and sounding great. And in terms of like the story narrative, it's on point. What we got to do now is exactly see the gameplay and see how the gameplay works. So you can just sit in the good chest right there, and that is Sea of Solitude. So we've only got one more. Hooray! We've only got one more game in the EA lineup to cover. The only problem is it's that one. So we're back to Shit Town. So well, I mean, some people might be like, what? Why are you saying that? Shit Town? Well, if you watch the EA conference, you'll know why that one is Shit Town. But we'll get into that next time. So for now, thank you all for watching this video of the E3 press conferences, mainly the EA press conference and Sea of Solitude. If you did indeed enjoy the video, please do feel free to leave a like. It does help out the channel. And if you don't want to miss out on the rest of the E3 content, like the live reactions to the conferences themselves, then don't forget to subscribe and bing the bell so the notifications actually go through, because YouTube just doesn't work on subscriptions nowadays. And of course, there are links down below to the Discord if you want to come in and just have a talk, and of course, like, get in the server and build stuff like everybody else that's building stuff, like Alex over there. And there is also a link to the Twitter.
Not building anything anymore.
Well, not anymore, but like, I'm looking at it so I can see it and show it off to people. But yeah, you can build shit.
About me?
What? Oh yeah, oh, fine then. Or you can build shit like Flick, that little cabin over there. And then, of course, there is a link to my Twitter if you want to see my tweets in live time, so you can see how I'm reacting to the press conference in lifetime, as well as a link to my Patreon if you'd like to support me further. But for now, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the last of the E3 press conferences, where we're going to cover the other one. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you next time.
Bye.
Praise the Lord.
So,
Spyro apparently has some outdated news on my